end of month market update for November 2024, which at the end of every single month, the MLS provides us with updated market stats. So we're going to jump right in with number one, closed sales dropped. So the number of closed sales that took place for November dropped to 741, which is actually the lowest for November since 2016. So that's kind of putting you into perspective that we are seeing less and less closings every single month compared to the year prior, and going all the way back to 2016. 8 years ago is when it was that low, 741 for November. Now, although the election is behind us, which I know that was one of the things that all buyers and sellers were talking about, I'm not going to do anything till after the election. Well, the election's behind us, and we had an entire month that the election was passed, and interest rates are still high, and buyers are still waiting for them to come down. Until that happens, we're going to see fewer and fewer sales, because any buyer that would wait on the election would have put in some offers already, and we will have closed on it. So we're not seeing that, I don't think. Number two, new listings dropped. So the number of new properties on the market for sale decreased from 1,468 to 1,289 from October and November. Now, historically, new listings going into the winter months always drop. Everyone goes, I'm not going to put my property on the market. I'm going to wait till after the new year. I got family, Christmas, traveling, New Year, shopping, all that stuff. And as well, everyone thinks that there's no buyers in town. So that's usually what happens historically. But more and more listings are coming on the market compared to their months in the past. Unfortunately, this will continue to increase, which will create more competition. So to give you an idea, we're kind of, if you drew a straight line, and that line represented the average number of new listings that are coming on the market, we're kind of in a increase trajectory, which isn't what we want. The more listings that come on the market, basically that creates more competition for you if you're looking to sell, so we don't want that. Number three, pending sales decreased. So pending sales, to give you an idea, is when buyers put an offer on a property, they agree to a price and terms, and it goes pending. So pending sales basically drives buyer activity or buyer offers. So the number of properties that went under contract for November decreased, as you can see in the graph, the link. Now, this decrease tells me that buyers were unfazed by the election and that the high interest rates are holding them back from making property offers. So all the buyers that are waiting for the election, they should have rushed out after the election, started putting in offers on properties, and they didn't. So what can we say about that? So buyers will hold off on making offers until these rates drop to a more manageable level. That's basically what I'm reading into this. So a lot of buyers, they're waiting on that interest rate to drop. So the election isn't really the excuse anymore. Number four, homes for sale stayed the same. So the total number of homes for sale stayed the same from October to November. Now, this wasn't expected because a lot of sellers were waiting until after the election before they put their property on the market. So we should have seen an increase in the number of homes for sale, but as well as new listings increased, but new listings dropped. The number of homes for sale basically stayed the same. So everyone was waiting on the election, and now that the election is behind us, the numbers aren't following what sellers have been telling all of us. So that kind of tells us that the market conditions aren't right for sellers to basically take advantage right now, which we're in a buyer's market. Number five, and the final stat, the average sales price increase, which is more good news for homeowners. Now, in my opinion, this increase is from the rates dropping to 6% back in September. Buyers were putting in offers in September to take advantage of locking that 6% rate, and then closing on them in October and November, which we saw increase in average sales price in October and November. We may see this drop since the rates jumped back up to 7% in late September and early October. So the question is, are we going to see the increase in average sales price continue for this market, or is the interest rates, which is basically the driving force behind this market this entire year. Is it going to turn the average sales price downward since it jumped back up to 7%? So we'll have to see what December, January, and February brings, but hopefully, some pressure can get put on the bond market to rebound and get those mortgage rates down. So now, based on these stats, here's my opinion, and what they're doing. Getting past the election didn't have much of an effect on the market. So all these buyers and sellers that were going, I'm waiting on the election to be over, they're not reacting to the election. Their focus is more on the high interest rates. Because the interest rates are at 7%, they're not doing anything. So we'll have to see what happens here in the coming months to the market based on the interest rates.